Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching. Every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, we get to share all kinds of great topics. By the way, if you have any ideas for shows, if you'll send an email my way, Donna@donnasedge.com. I'll be glad to take care of it for you. I love research, and you're giving me something to do that I enjoy. I love going to the library. I love going on the internet. I love sharing the truth information, by the way. So I love doing that. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com, thenewscasters.com. It's listed right there. But again, thank you so much for watching. I have a good friend with me right now. His name is Doug McGee, and Doug is with Second Chance Animal Shelter. And Doug, great having you on the show.
I am glad to be back.
I'm glad. I'm going to tell you what, talking about all the great things you guys do at Second Chance is uplifting. It really is. When I think about, there are things that can't be controlled, and they're in this world, but there are things that can be, and you and Wanda are doing an awesome job.
We are trying.
And it's a responsibility for you guys.
It really is. And there's a need. Alabama, North Alabama, or the whole state, there is a huge need for what we do. Never realized it was so extreme until we started doing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, it is. There's a lot of things that we got so much work to do. I hope I don't run out of life before I actually feel like I've accomplished something.
Well, I think you guys are accomplishing great things, but I wanted to talk about, we're busy in life. We got a whole lot going on. We have pets, and sometimes the dog gets out, and then sometimes the dog comes home and it's pregnant. And there are responsibilities. There are things that we have to do, and I get it. I know how busy we all are, but there are some things that we just have to take care of. And so let's talk about this population. So, and it makes life harder on you guys, and it makes it harder on people. I hate seeing where somebody has dumped off a bunch of little puppies in a ditch somewhere because they don't want to take the responsibility of these little babies.
And
when all you have to do is put a sign out, free puppies.
Especially this time of year, I'd say 8 out of 10 people that have come to the shelter this month, that's what they've wanted is puppies. So, when you said that I'm getting pregnant, we had 2 dogs that we took in from animal control. Both of them were pregnant. We got with a rescue group, and they ended up going to Maine, I believe. It was up in that area, a little further north than normal. Both of them had their puppies after they left here. 2 dogs had a total of 23 puppies, pit bull mixes. But in Maine, they have a big push. A lot of people are getting pit bulls right now to help southern states or whatever. But 2 dogs had 23 puppies. That's 23 households that are going to have to be involved if everybody gets 1 dog and saving these dogs. And that's just 2. You're familiar with Geraldine area. Just south of Geraldine, there's 3 dogs running loose. We can't catch them right now because one of them is pregnant. The other one is either just had her puppies. We don't know. Terribly emaciated, skinny dogs. And the lady called this morning. She finally put her hands on one to pet it, but she can't catch them. So we're going to be involved in that. So once again, there's 2 pregnant dogs. We know 2 of them are pregnant or had puppies. So we don't know how many. There are litters of puppies everywhere. And that goes back to spaying and neutering. Until it becomes mainstream, we'll always have the problems we've got. It's just, and not just spaying. A lot of men don't want to get their dogs neutered for whatever, some kind of crazy family reason. But, 1 male can generate a lot of puppies through different females. So spaying is important, but neutering is just as important.
Yeah, well, it's a responsibility that we all have.
If you do. It needs to be spayed or neutered. If you're breeding dogs, I kind of disagree with the concept of breeding, especially since we're killing so many dogs in Alabama. But there needs to be regulations on breeding and who people. It's just that's the answer. The answer is for breeders to have to be accountable. They can't swap from one breed to the next every other week because that's where the money is. That's things we got to work out. If we ever
But
want to get into
let's talk about that, because there are really no standards. And so any Yahoo could breed dogs and not do what they're supposed. Is there not a code of ethics somewhere that you should follow if you're going to be in that kind of business?
Responsible breeders, I'm sure there is. I'm sure that some of these breeding groups they're very responsible, and I those I don't question so much. The problem we got in Alabama, and in Wisconsin, where we send dogs to every month, if you have more than 24 dogs a year come through your property, you have to be registered with the state. I think it's a year. I can't remember the exact number, but breeders kind of would have a license. The state inspects them, makes sure everything is kind of up to par. They have to pay a licensing fee, which for us, we have to pay it because we send more than 24 a year up there. So we pay $300 a year to the state of Wisconsin as part of that. So making breeders responsible, trade day, if you go to one of these flea markets, Mountaintop or Collinsville or any of them around here, there's always people selling whatever dog, and there's no regulations at all. There's no nothing requiring genetic anything. It's just, hey, pit bulls are popular this week, so those breed pit bulls. When they go down, they'll get some other breed, and it's not good. There needs to be some kind of regulatory thing going on with breeders.
Okay, let's educate buyers. Okay, because if I'm buying a dog, I'm going to want papers on it. I'm going to want to know that the dog is not diseased, so I'm not buying problems later on. What kind of questions should people ask if they're buying a dog?
Well, first of all, if you're going to trade day, that's probably or a flea market, that's probably not a good. You're not going to get that there.
Yeah,
we had one breeder had Chihuahuas, and I know a girl got one, and something was wrong with it. And they said, and the vet said it's because it's inbred.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to trade, if you go down to the flea market and see dogs, I'm sorry, I got my phone. One is supposed to be answering the phone, but she'll get it in a minute. But anyways,
okay.
If you're buying your dog from a flea market, it might be from a breeder, and it may be inbred. It may have whatever. You don't know. Mm-hmm. There's nothing there. If you go to a responsible breeder who has a location, that may make it a lot better. Apparently, she's not in there. That happens a lot.
That's okay.
But anyways, I don't know. As far as a breeder, if you want to get a good dog from a breeder, if you're just bound and determined, I would definitely make sure they had a location that you could go to and follow up. I would not buy one from a flea market. I just wouldn't do it because those people come from everywhere. And
right. And unless you get some kind of a DNA test or something like that, you're not going to know if that's a full-blooded whatever dog.
Right.
You're not going to know.
There's one lady right far from here who raises corgis, and my understanding is everything about her operation is wonderful. She does a genetic test. She's actually trying to keep that. She says she wants to further that breed. I mean, I think she's doing it right. If there is such a thing as a breeder with scruples, I think she would be the one. Mm-hmm. Hang on just a second. Okay. There she is. She's there now.
But there's so many different things you can do. Like my dog Buddy, he's a big old dog, and I love him. He's a big one. And I don't understand why people don't want big dogs, because that's like the best dog ever. But then a German Shepherd we had when I was a kid, he was a huge old dog. Well, he looked over us. I mean, this dog made sure we lived out in the country, and this dog made sure we were safe, both dogs. Well, the thing about Buddy is Buddy is part lab, and he's also part German Shepherd. Mm-hmm. I don't see any German. If somebody were trying to pawn him off and say that he was a German Shepherd, I wouldn't believe him, because he doesn't look like it.
Doesn't have it at all.
He looks more lab. I mean, he looks like he'd be almost full-blooded lab. You can tell he's something else too.
So how did you find out that he was had German Shepherd in him? I mean, did you do a genetic test or?
No, the lady that I got him from, her dog had a bunch of pups.
Okay.
And so the mother was a lab, the daddy was a German Shepherd.
Okay.
And so it was one of those accidents that happened with neighbors. And so, but then she went on ahead and got her fixed, right after that. But she was a friend of mine, and I wanted a puppy. And she was thrilled that I wanted a puppy. And she said, "Now he's part lab and part German Shepherd." And I said, "I don't care. He's so cute. I mean, he's just like a cute baby." And he's been the sweetest thing. He's dominant. You can tell he's got something in him besides lab too. You know, labs they love their owners. And then German Shepherds are very protective of their owners.
Mm-hmm. We've got a pit bull lab mix at the house, and she's kind of like that. The lab part is the gentle part, and the pit bull part. Every now and then she gets kind of rowdy. So, I mean, we got the same thing. We were talking about just one quick thing about genetic tests. We had a dog. Lady went out in the yard, and her dog was throwing something up in the air, and she thought it was a ball, and then she realized it wasn't, and it was a puppy. And so still alive, and her dog just like throwing it up and like catching it. She brought it to us. We didn't think it would live, but it did. Well, it was the weirdest looking puppy. We could what kind of puppy is it? And one day I went in, it was actually hanging we had it in a small crate. It was hanging from the top of the crate with his little hands. And I thought, well, we actually did a genetic test on that, and it was a full-blooded coyote pup. It was a coyote. We had no idea. It looked like a dog, but it was a coyote, and I guess that dog had, I can't remember what we did with it. It went to rescue or something. I can't remember what we did, but it was a coyote puppy. So, I mean, we get them every now and then. We'll get one so weird that we think, "What is that?" And we'll actually pay the $50 for a genetic test. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's just one of those things.
But to me, I mean, a dog's a dog. I mean, it's loving. It's in the family. This dog is part of our family. I mean,
that's it.
Really is.
And some people are hung up on breeds, and that's wonderful. That's just who they are. I don't even think about the breed of a dog.
I don't either. I don't even think about that.
We've got an old German Shepherd up at the house. He's real old, crippled up. We got him and his son actually here from somebody. The son got adopted because he was younger than this old dog, and I love him just as much as I do. And he is old now. He's, we call him Pappy. He said he's up for adoption if anybody wants an old German Shepherd, but his name is Pappy, and he's just an old, he is. And sometimes he'll howl, and you just say there's just a sadness to his howl. I hear that, and I told one, it just sounds like he's just an old, sad old dog. But he walks around. He loves us and everything. But it's just I don't know.
Let's talk about responsibility again. And this is okay. Nobody can be busier than we are. I mean, you can't be. Right. So when we got Buddy, first thing we did, as soon as possible, we had him fixed. Because I didn't want to do that. I didn't want him to make other little girls pregnant. And it was just responsible thing to do. So why aren't more? Because it doesn't cost that. As a matter of fact, it would cost you a whole lot less to get that procedure done than it would be for them having puppies all the time. And you got to feed them.
1 litter of puppies will cost you a whole lot more than one spay or neuter. I mean, there's no way. Because if you start buying puppy food, it doesn't take long to eat up that $100. Now, a couple of rules when you go to get a dog fixed. Shop around. If you are on a tight budget, shop around. And if you just call veterinarian's office. You don't have to call us because we're going to call veterinarian's office. Call around different vets and find out what a basic spay or neuter costs. Now, some people don't care and they've got plenty of money. By all means, go for it. If you get the most expensive vet that will cater to your dog, that's great. But for people like us who don't have a lot of money, call around. Ask your vets if they have any kind of special programs going on. They may not have one there, but there may be one somewhere close by. A lot of cities you can get a dog fixed for $15, $10 in some places. If you make an appointment, make your appointment. Like if your appointment's at 8:00, show up, follow the vet's instructions. Vets tend to upsell, so just like restaurants do. So if you go in for a basic spay or neuter, you can say no when they ask you if you want the dog to have a massage after the surgery. I mean, they're going to ask you. It won't be quite that dramatic, but they're going to try to add on a lot of things. You can say no. Basically, go in and say, I want just a simple spay or neuter. get the price and call other vets, and you will save money. Once again, now I'm a math person, so I have to factor in if I'm going to have to drive to Montgomery to save $10. I'm going to,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We've had people, I'll drive 100 miles to save $10. If that's factor that into how much your time is and all that. If you can get one fixed for $100 next door and $80 30 miles away, is it worth the extra 20? It's up to you. I mean, you make this, but you can get it done cheap. If you really do it well, you might get it done for almost free. There are programs. There's all kinds of programs going on in different cities, different towns. So check into it. And veterinarians will be your source. Call the veterinarians and watch out for the upselling. I was in a vet's office in not too far from here, actually, and a girl's getting a cat fixed. And it started out 100. I don't know how much it was, but would you like the dog this? Would you like this? Would you like this? And next thing triples the price quick.
Yeah.
And some things you may want to do, some things, I don't.
Yeah, but people need to start asking this question. And this is what I ask on everything when I'm buying anything. Let's say I want to get a massage and they want to add, extra for, using a particular essential oil. First words out of my mouth always is, how much is that going to cost?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to ask. Just say, okay, how much will that cost? You can say it in a nice way. How much would the added value be if I do that? If you want to think of a nicer way to ask, how much would the added value be? I mean,
And if you got enough money, don't
go
care.
for it.
That's it. I went to just when Sears was open. This back in the 80s. I went to Sears to get tires. I had a sign up here. Tires like back then $25 or whatever. And he started doing that. He started saying, well, it got to the point where, would you like valve stems? Would you like this? Would you like that? And almost got to the point where, would you like air? And I mean, the whole thing just kept adding up, and it was doubled the price. And I kept saying, and finally, I actually got upset and left. I said, what are you talking about? I mean, I want a $25 tire is what I want. And that for them would have been picking up the tire and taking it somewhere else and having it put on. So, I mean, I don't, you don't have to say yes, though. You can always say, no, I don't want this.
Yeah, but even if it costs $100, even if it's $100, I get tired of hearing the excuse that people say, well, I'm on a fixed income.
I've heard that
then you need to get it done. I mean, you really do, because those cute little puppies come in and you want to keep them all, and they're going to cost you a whole lot more.
We took in 4 dogs this morning, and the person that brought them, we asked him, are they fixed? Oh, no, I couldn't afford that. That's the answer. So, I mean, that's very common. $100 is a lot of money. I understand that, but $100 is cheaper than a litter of puppies, and it's the right thing to do. And not saying you can get it done for $100 anymore. You have to shop around. I believe you can, though. If you'll just shop around, I think you can get any dog out there fixed for probably less than $100.
Well, you know what? So when I turned a senior citizen when I was 55 years old, so Phil said, "You okay with it?" And I said, "Yeah, guess what? We get discounts now." I mean, I was okay with being 55. Of course, I'm almost 65 now. But the deal about it is, ask for senior citizen discounts. You have to ask. And let me tell you why. Because women can, not me, but women can get offended. Okay, you're sitting in a restaurant and the waiter or the waitress says, "Are you eligible for senior citizen discount?" Well, it doesn't upset me, but some women do get upset. So they're not supposed to ask. You have to volunteer. You have to ask. Is there a senior? And some places could offer a senior citizen discount. So go for it.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, once again, if you're, I wish I was one of those people. I think if I was wealthy, I appreciate a good deal. So I still think I would do that. I mean, when I shop for gas, I look for the cheaper gas. I don't know. I just don't like paying full price for stuff if at all possible.
If you've ever been in a business before, you don't want to pay retail on anything anyway.
No, I mean, and then I've been with people who pull into the highest price gas thing and just don't care because it doesn't matter. And that's great. That's wonderful. But I'm just not that kind of person. I just am too conscious of it. And spay and neutering, same thing. Shop around. My biggest advice, if you do it, because it's a standard operation. Most vets are going to do a good job on spay and neuter. And I don't think you really have to worry about a vet not knowing how to do that. So shop around, and you can get it done a lot cheaper. I would factor in the travel time, gas, that kind of stuff, because, once again, driving 30 more miles to save $10 doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, shop around, but get it done.
And let me tell you something else. Don't listen to naysayers, because I didn't remember. We had Ringo was our dog when I was a kid, and so I don't remember what my parents paid. I don't remember if he was sick. I don't remember any of that stuff. So don't ask anybody. Just don't get on the Facebook and see all the terrible things that can happen to an animal that's spayed or neutered. Don't ask, okay? Because you're going to have those people who always want to have the story, the terrible story of what happened to their animal, whatever. I'll say this: Buddy came out of it just fine. I mean, he slept. I mean, I guess he's a little drowsy from getting it done. He slept.
Male dogs,
he had no problems.
Most male dogs, but they get it done in the morning. By afternoon, they don't even know.
They're running all over the place.
Follow your, that's when you need to listen to your veterinarian, because, male dogs especially will lick the wound, and sometimes that might open back up. It's real easy to fix. You just take them back to the vet, and we have that happen 1 in 200 that'll happen to. Sometimes a female dog, something may go wrong, but it's very rare, well worth the risk. Just follow your vet's instructions on, like the number one thing, don't immerse a dog that's been fixed for like a week. So don't go home and give it a bath. Stick it in the bathtub. Don't do that. Let things work. But male dogs, like I've heard before, they get fixed in the morning. By the afternoon, they coming. They're getting off the anesthetic, and they're not anesthetic.
They're hungry. They want something to eat.
Yeah. Take off, and they'll be running and playing. They just don't even know it's been done. It's not that big of a deal for the animal. I mean, and some, I've heard men say, well, you don't want to get a male dog fixed. It'll take the fight out of them. Well, if that's why you want a dog, I have issues with that. A dog that has fight in it. Everybody says, a female dog get fat. I've heard that so many times. If you get a female fixed too early, she'll get fat and lazy. I don't think so. I think if
that's a myth.
It is. There are a lot
None of that's going to happen.
Now, one thing that they say statistically, female dogs have a lot less chance of getting cancer if they've been fixed.
That's what I was wanting to talk about.
Yeah, so the risk of those kinds of diseases go down if they are fixed. Not to mention, if you have a female dog, you won't have a bunch of male dogs running around your house every time they go into heat. I mean, so that's a benefit. You won't have male dogs traveling from the neighboring towns to come to your house. And we get that a lot. I don't know what's happened. I got all these dogs hanging out at my house. They call us. You got a female dog in heat? And yeah, well, that's why they're there. So, and then a few months later, I got these puppies. I added that part still. Get your dogs fixed. Alabama, anybody listening in this state that doesn't have a dog that's fixed, I'm encouraging you to make it your resolution for 2024 so we can finally solve this problem. We're so far down. We're one of the worst states in the country on killing healthy dogs, and the solution is fixing our animals. I mean, that's the basic bottom line, true fact solution. If you care about dogs, don't let your dog have an unwanted litter of puppies, because that just adds to the problem.
It sure most certainly does. And again, we're talking health wise of the animal. I mean, you want a good healthy animal. Well, then you're not inviting cancer to the girls. I mean, so I can't think of any reason why you wouldn't do that. So
there are aggression issues. A lot of male dogs are not nearly as aggressive. They aren't. Taking the fight out of them is that is the truth. But once again,
for some dogs that could be.
So a male dog that's neutered, I think, is probably a little less hormone driven, and the female dogs too. I mean, they're the same way. If they're fixed, they won't have those times when they're just angry and mad and want to. I mean, it just happens. It's when it works. And the bottom line, for every time you get one fixed and she doesn't produce puppies or he don't generate puppies, other dogs will live. There won't be dogs put down, and we won't be killing healthy dogs, and that's what we're trying. That's our mission, is to stop the killing of healthy dogs in North Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do it unless people get wise and start fixing them. And I can't fix everybody's dog, but please be responsible and get your dog fixed.
Absolutely. And there's just something about having a healthy animal. I mean, it's just all there is. We've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching. Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. And if you have any questions or something you'd like for me to do a little research, I'll be glad to do that for you. You can send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. And truth does matter, definitely. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications and Abundance Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I've got Doug McGee with me. He is a good friend of mine, Second Chance Animal Shelter. Let's talk about all the different people who are associated with Second Chance Animal Shelter. It takes a whole bunch of really awesome people to make it work, and you guys are making it happen.
It takes, well, it takes a community. I mean, it takes a village, whatever you want to say. Yeah, we cannot, it started with me and Wanda, and that was it. And it is built. Right now we have 14 full and part-time employees. Mm-hmm. Volunteers, we have all kinds of volunteers. We have actually a group of volunteers in Wisconsin called Second Chance North. They're all volunteers, and we'll take 200 to 300 dogs every year that they take up there, foster them, find them home. So it does. It takes all that. We take donors from our community. We have so many good people out here. Maybe they can't volunteer, but they donate to help us, because it does take money to take care of these dogs. Mm-hmm. And because we do have support from volunteers and from donors and from everything else, we keep going. And I'm telling you, 2023 has been a difficult year. It's been very difficult. Man, this is the worst year I've seen for people wanting to turn dogs in. And I don't know what's brought that on, but it's been a very upside down year. People want to get rid of dogs versus people want to adopt dogs. I haven't seen it. Used to is about 4 out of 10. And lately, the last 6 months, it's been probably 7 out of 10 people that contact the shelter want us to take a dog. So, but
I think it's the economy, and people are a little afraid of what's going to happen. But man, you got to have the companionship of your dog or your cat.
We hear that all the time. That's the number one reason we hear is, I can't afford dog food. I can't afford to take care of my dog. That is probably the number one reason. And I get it. I absolutely understand it, but it's heartbreaking. But that will change. I really believe. I'm optimistic about 2024. And another thing I am optimistic about, our networks up north. We actually have one Second Chance North fosters, but now we have another group we picked up in Wisconsin, and they took 20 the other day. Now they're taking puppies and small dogs because that's just the way it goes, but at least they're moving dogs. I mean, as long as we're moving them, that's what matters. Keep them moving, keep them coming, and we got to make that happen. I'm hoping to open up more networks. We got one in Maine now. It's pretty interesting. So, and they take pit bulls.
Oh, wow. Is it too gross to talk about what happens when a dog has to be put down?
It's not gross, but it's extremely sad. I mean, basically, Alabama, when I started the police department in 1991, I was talking to animal control. And back then, he would take a dog, take it to the landfill, and shoot it at the landfill. And the reason he shot it at the landfill was that way he didn't have to pick it up and transport it again. I mean, the dog, once it dropped, that's where it stayed. That changed in the mid-'90s. They took him to the vet's office, and they poison them. Basically, they inject them with poison. Same thing. It wouldn't be exact same thing, but it's kind of the way they do capital punishment on humans now. They inject them with poison. Alabama has outlawed gas chambers to the best of my knowledge. I think maybe there's a national ban on it. Gas chambers used to be another method. I've seen that done. It's indescribable. If you like dogs, it'll haunt you. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to be haunted, you can find videos on the internet. I mean, it's just not, there are places that still shoot them. In Alabama, there are places that their way of putting the dog down, animal control takes the dog out and shoots it. And some people say, oh, that's the same difference. It's still dead. And I don't know. It's like I said, then it's not gross. It's just, can we not?
Heartbreaking is what it is. It's very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really, really is. or in Walker County a couple of weeks ago, I saw a story where a man shot a dog with a pregnant dog with a crossbow. It's because he was just an idiot or whatever you want to call him,
Yeah.
not a good person. And they actually, Walker County, I'll have to give him a kudos. Walker County actually prosecuted him and put him in jail for animal cruelty. So, but I know people all the time shoot dogs. They're like, neighbor's dog gets on their property and they shoot them. And I don't know if that's, once again, it's just sad. I can't get past the sadness of it. But as far as putting them down, mainly nowadays they call it putting them to sleep, and I don't like using terms like that because you're killing them, regardless of why we call it euthanizing. We try to give it words that don't sound quite so brutal.
There's no making it look pretty. But you know something, Doug? That can all be turned around. We can stop this.
Yeah, we can. I mean, there's things we can do. And one, we talked earlier about spaying and neutering, but control the population and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to worry about that dog being put down. Most cities, now there are some exceptions. Marshall County has a 60-day. Most cities, if your dog gets out of your yard and animal control picks it up, they've got 1 week. And if you happen to be on vacation and that dog goes at the end of that week, it's when they get put down. 7 days. And not all of them. Once again, there are exceptions. Sometimes when they're overcrowded, they don't even get that. But as a rule, 7 days from the time that dog gets picked up and delivered to the local pound, 7 days later, it's injected with poison and put down. And that is sad. And I've known a lot of people who had pets that were put down because they couldn't connect. They didn't know where to call. They come home, their dog's missing. They don't know who to call. They put something on Facebook. And a week goes by and their dog gets put down. And once again, it's just sad. Well, we can stop that if we just get a few rules, spay and neuter, and drop that population. And animal control needs to be more transparent. If a dog gets picked up by animal control or something like that, it needs to be put out there. Hey, we've got this dog, and we do that when we get a dog here. We try to get it on Facebook and let people know, hey, we found this dog.
Is this your dog? But what we need to do, though, as neighbors, a few years ago, and as a matter of fact, I have a lady who's a really good friend of mine now because of this, and she goes to the Cowboy Church, Sand Mountain Cowboy Church in Boaz, so we are like friends. So what happened, she lives in Asbury, and so a dog came to my house, pretty thing, that didn't have a telephone number on it, but it had its name on it, on the tag. So I'm sitting there. The first thing I thought of is this dog belongs to somebody. He's just too sweet. So we don't need to ignore when a dog comes to our house. There's a reason, okay? So what happened was I thought, well, I'm gonna put it on Facebook. So I don't know any other way to do it. So I went on ahead and I took a picture of the dog and told how sweet he was and got the name on it, name tag and all that. Well, somebody shared it, somebody else shared it, and people will do that. People will share that picture on Facebook. He was the cutest thing you've ever seen. And so we were sharing it. I was sharing it. Everybody was sharing it. Well, the lady calls me, and she and I are friends to this day now because of this. And she called and she said, I think you've got my dog. And I said, I said, where do you live? And she said, I live in Asbury. She said, we have been driving around. We thought they didn't think he would travel as far as he did. He traveled to our house. And I said, this is the sweetest thing. She said, well, just hold on to him. She said, we're on the way. So we lived. So she came by. See, that was a success story, but there are simple things you can do. And even if you're afraid of dogs, just take a picture of it and then just put it on Facebook and say, share, share, share. Have everybody sharing. Well, that was a reunion. Not only was it a reunion and this lady got her dog back, she and I are friends to this day. So I met my new friend.
We have that. I mean, in fact, 2 dogs this morning, they went to animal control, stayed there 7 days, and we got them on the day they were supposed to be put down. We brought them here a week and a half later, and we knew they went home this morning. So see, if in a normal situation, if this shelter didn't exist, they would have been put down a week and a half ago. But now they've gone back home. And that's what we do. We go to the pound regularly and take dogs that are due to be put down, bring them here, And sometimes we will find the owner. A lot of times after a week, I mean, they're not ever claimed. But interesting stories. People, a dog came to their house. She looked like she just had puppies. They started feeding, but they couldn't find the puppies. They were out in the woods somewhere, and the man tried to find them. She went. She wasn't sure she had had puppies. The lady catches the dog, takes it to the veterinarian to see if it had puppies. He said yes, it had puppies. On the way home, here's what you need to do: give it this. She on the way home, she stopped at Walmart in Fort Payne, and she went in to grab a milk replacement or something or stuff for the dog, and left the dog in her van, which was running. The dog let the window down, jumped out in Walmart parking lot in Fort Payne. Some people from Ohio, the dog ran up to them. They'd never been here before. They called the shelter. They Googled animal shelters. They called us and said, "We've got this dog. Can we bring it to you?" And I said, "We're at Walmart." And I thought they meant Boaz, but it's actually Fort Payne. Yeah, bring it on. So they brought it to us. We got the dog. That night, about 5 o'clock, 4, we put it on Facebook. About 4 o'clock, some people showed up. And they said, "We think you got our dog." And I said, "Well, I'm not sure, but it was that dog." So they got the dog back and explained that it was just a mother dog and they couldn't find the puppies. They went home, put a GPS on that dog and followed her and found her puppies, which were in a shed. And now the mama dog, puppies and all that, they're just they're raised until they get older, and we'll probably get the puppies when they get older. But yeah, Facebook is what saved that dog. I mean, all those connections and people from Ohio. Who'd have thought? Never been to Alabama, and they run up and there's a dog reads them at Walmart and ends up here, and small world.
Yeah, we appreciate that. So if you see a dog walking around, take a picture of it and just put it on Facebook. Is this your dog? And just say, and give the explicit details of where you saw it.
And yeah, exactly. And we've got 30,000, 35,000 people that follow our Facebook page. Send us a picture of it and put the information. And if you want us to you put your phone number, we will, but we can put it out there too. And 35,000, well, it'll be 70,000 eyes. Maybe somebody might, they might recognize it and call the owner. And next thing you know, it's home. And on that end, at least put a tag on your dog, collar with a tag. But I recommend microchipping. We get so many now that we have microchip, and that is a good way to return dogs home. We got a dog this morning from, I think it's Albertville or Boaz. They microchipped, and that's how they found out. So we'll call the owner, and hopefully they'll come get it. I mean, microchips work best. If you can't do that, at least put a collar with a tag on it, so that people you can get your dog back.
Another reason I think people they see the romance of having a dog. They've never had one in their entire life. Well, with a dog comes responsibility. I mean, they're almost human like. They got to go potty. They want to eat. I mean, different things happen to these dogs. So you guys have a great option. If you've never had a dog before, you're just kind of thinking about it. Can they just like get a dog and just take it to the park and just find out what it's like? You
can. We love fosters. I mean, there's so many different levels of fosterings. If you want to just take a dog for a day, that's fantastic. Come out for a few hours. Take one, take it to the park. We will always try to we'll put a dog we think you can handle. Couple hours away from here does a dog a whole lot of good. I mean, people don't think, well, I don't want to take it back to the shelter after I've taken it home. Don't worry about that part. Just get it out of here for a couple of hours. You can take it for the weekend. You can pick it up on Friday. Do almost like a child custody thing. We'll work that out. Come out here for a weekend. Take the dog home on Friday. Bring it back on Sunday afternoon. You can do that. Yeah. If you want a longer term, you say, "Hey, I'm going to be off for 2 weeks for summer vacation or whatever." Foster one for 2 weeks. Now, the longer you keep that dog, be aware. A lot of people, the longer they keep it, all of a sudden it turns into what we call a foster fail. You start because they'll grow on you. One day you might think, well, I've had enough. 3 weeks, if you foster one for a long time, there may be a point where you think, I got to keep this dog. It'd be like throwing away a member of your family or getting rid of them. Yeah. So, we understand that. Hey, come out here, we'll give that a shot. See, take one and say, I'm going to foster it and work with us on trying to get it adopted from my home. Sometimes it happens a lot. People just fall in love with them. Next thing you know, they think, I can't give it up. And that's what we want. That's really not a bad deal. So
Well, it's a good idea to do that, though, if you have kids and you don't know if your kids are going to like animals or not, because kids are different now than they used to be.
Absolutely.
I mean, we used to wanted dog. I would have had just a team of dogs, when I was growing up, because I love dogs and cats. But if you just don't know, are the kids going to adjust, that kind of thing? And that'd be a good way to find out.
And we'll talk to you. This is something we generally try to find out, get a feel for what kind of dog you would want to foster. We have nursery fosters. We have all the time a mama dog show up with puppies. Would you, some people would love doing that because they get to play with the puppies when they're growing up. At the end of it, when the puppies get weaned, then we would take them back and make arrangements or whatever. So we need pregnant dog. We need pregnant dog fosters. The dog hasn't had the puppies yet, but we know she's going to. So you take her into your house and get to experience all that. We have hospice fosters, and that's kind of sad. And it's, but there are people wired for that. You can take a dog home that we know is not going to live for very long. It could have cancer. Could be like Pappy up at the house, just an old dog. It might last a year, might last a month. You just really never know. But we need hospice fosters. So whatever your mindset is on fostering, if it be puppies or pregnant dogs or injured dogs, a dog has his leg removed because he was injured in something, he's got to have special care. You might be able to take care of him at your house. And it's a lot better than having it here at the shelter. So please, if you're interested in any kind of fostering, we are all in. We will help you. And don't forget the weekend deal. Come out on a Saturday at 10, pick up a dog, take it to the park, take it home, take it to get ice cream or a hamburger. I don't care. Get it out of here for a little while. The dog will enjoy it. You'll probably be blessed for it and happy about it and bring it back. That's just as good. Just foster. Get that word in mind because we need them all.
And then there's volunteering. And so I know you guys can always use some volunteers. So is there a special project you're working on this coming year? I know you guys are always looking for innovative ways to help these dogs.
Kind of like, you came out at the shelter and you did gardening work yesterday. We had a guy that's coming out and he did not to the extent that you did, but he basically worked on cleaning, I guess call it landscape, but more cleaning up. That's what he did for his volunteer service. And see, volunteers, for those people who can't have a dog at their house, they can't foster, they live in an apartment, they can't have a dog. The next step, come out here and volunteer. If you like dogs, come out here and you got more dogs you can shake a stick at. So volunteer here. And if maybe you don't even like dogs so much, you just want to help, then come out here and do like he did, do landscaping for us. Yes, volunteers are essential to everything we do. We need, right now we got a floor. I mean, I'm sitting on a floor that's got some soft spots in it, so we're going to have to replace that. We probably can do it, but if there's a volunteer carpenter who just say, I'm not doing anything. Hey, we'll take, I'm telling you, if you got any skill and you want to contribute in any way, we're built where we need help. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you really like dogs. If you want to just do something to help the world, we will put you to work.
Absolutely. There's just, again, so many things you can do. This is something I thought of. Do you have kids that tend to get that they don't have nothing to do? They're bored at home. There's nothing, and they wind up getting themselves in trouble. Let them volunteer.
Well, now there's a thing called vape court. I mean, smoking and vaping and all that. If you're an adult, that's your business. Kids under 21, you can't vape. And in Albertville and Marshall County, and I think we had one from Huntsville the other day. They have what they call vape court. If you get caught the first time, it's 16 hours. You get caught vaping in school or anything, and you're under the age, they will sentence you to do community service, and we're definitely recipients of that. So they got this big list of places they can work, and a lot of kids choose here. And they'll come out here, and we make them work. Now, don't think if you're a vapor that we're going to cut you slack. I mean, you're doing community service, so you're going to have to come out here and do what's expected of you. And if you don't want to, then we'll send you on. We don't have a problem with that. One kid actually he's caught the second time, and I think he got 32 or 20. You got more hours a second time. So, if you're under 21, don't vape. But if you do and get caught, we are an option for community service.
Yeah.
And as far as bored kids, a man called the day before yesterday, and he talked about his daughter being bored. School's out, and she's just looking for something to do. So he's going to bring her out here Saturday. And I think she's 13 or 14 years old. Our only rule on volunteers, if you're under 13, a parent or guardian needs to plan on staying with you. 13 and above, if you act responsibly and don't act too crazy, then we can work with them. But anybody that's young, if your parents want to come, then they need to be able to stay. And they don't have to work, but they can sit around or whatever they want, or they can help. They can volunteer too.
They can help too.
That's right. The family can come out here and we'll put you to work doing something because there's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just all kinds of things you can do. Now let me ask you this: so, if you're between jobs, and you're just, or maybe you just retired, and you're driving your spouse nuts, this would be a good little thing. Is there a minimum or a maximum of hours that you can volunteer? We have one lady that comes 3 nights a week, 3 or 4 hours a night. But you can come out. We actually had a lady who used to drive from Arab, and she'd work 1 to 2 hours every week. Every Thursday, she would come out and work 1 to 2 hours, and just to help. And it does help. The best benefit to us are repeat volunteers. First time you come, you're going to be overwhelmed and no idea what to do. That's just expected. By the time 3 or 4 times you come out here, you'll have an idea, and that's when you really get to help us. Even little things like driving. This week, Wanda's got to go to Georgia Wednesday to pick up dog food. If we can allow volunteers that we trust with our vehicles and all that kind of thing, and it helps a whole lot to have volunteers. Transport volunteers. We always one of the volunteers drove me to Wisconsin last month. 2 or 3 months ago, another one drove me to Illinois. So and it doesn't have to be with me. Once we get to trust people and understand. I mean, we're all about needing transport drivers, and there's so many things. If don't limit yourself. Don't think, well, I'm not crazy about cleaning kennels, so I'm not going to go to the shelter. Just think, I want to make the world better, so I'm going to volunteer at the shelter. And if you'll talk to us, we'll find something for you to do. And it could be nothing to do with dogs. Well, I know you guys also have a budget. I mean, this is not a free thing to run. I mean, you got to have money coming in. So are there programs out there for employers if their employees would like to, give you guys a monthly donation? Can it be taken out of their check, or how does that work?
There are people that do that. We get, I can't remember what it goes to. You just have to ask your boss on that one. I'm sure there are. We actually get checks like that. You'll get 3 or 4 checks from one company, and they'll be from different individuals in that organization. Finances for 2023 have been not horrible, but tight. And it's because we've had to buy so much dog food, and dog food has gone up so much. Every time we buy $690 worth of dog food every 4 days when we have to buy it retail. Now, we do have outlets that we get it from, but it's spotty all year. This has been a tight year. I'm hoping 2024 will get better. But we make it, but we need support. So, definitely donations. And we're almost to the end of the year, so somebody's got a tax dump that they need to make so they don't have to pay as much taxes. Hey, we're available. We will take it. We need funds. $300 is what we have, and it takes a lot of care to take care of those. And we have to have employees because, you have to have a certain number of employees, and that's where a lot of money goes, keeping them on board and all. So, we need donations, fosters, volunteers, supplies, always dog food or dog treats, or call us and ask us what kind of supplies we need. We're just a needy organization, I guess you could say, but it's just the way it is. I mean,
it's running a business. You guys are really running a worthwhile cause. Some businesses can just use your imagination. I was trying to think of how I could help you guys, and I'm doing free advertising for you guys.
By putting the word out. I mean, I don't know how many thousands of people we reach. Your broadcast reaching mega thousands. Well, all it takes is that connection, and that's absolutely. I mean,
it helps me out at tax time too. Now talk to your accountant first, and I've got a great one. And her name is Rhonda, and she owns Rhonda's Elite Tax Services, and she's been handling my books since we moved back. We moved back here from Charlotte in 2013. And so first got acquainted with her in 2014. She started handling. She's been handling my stuff ever since. So I talked with Rhonda first to see how that worked. She said, yeah, that'd help you out. She said, they'll help you out at tax, and plus you're helping them. She's a huge advocate for you guys too, by the way. She's
really? So that's good to know. I mean, that's good to know. Yeah, I mean, business, there's a lot of tax business things that, I mean, I don't know. We're an animal shelter, but we are a nonprofit animal shelter. So that means the government has enough faith in us to think that we're here to help the world, kind of. That being said, there's a lot of benefits to donating to us, to providing services to us. I mean, there's just benefits that hopefully the best benefit will get you to feel good about yourself and feel like you're doing something good for the world. But, hey, don't neglect to take the other benefits that they're offered, because there's all kinds of tax benefits to supporting what we do.
And tax laws change every year, so make sure you do talk with your accountant. But you can be very surprised at some nice things that will benefit you while you're helping somebody else.
Yeah. Hey, another answering the phone. You've heard it ring like 1,000 times since we've been on the air. Teresa, the lady that works in the office, she's out today, and we have a volunteer phone answerer, somebody who has a decent voice and not mean on the phone. I mean, if you want to call and we could set that up to where on days where we have busy Saturdays, just answer the phone. If you can have a pleasant speaking voice and can keep your composure and not get mad when people call and tell you they're going to kill their dog, then hey, I mean, if you could do that.
I'm probably not your person for that one, because I'd got to be preaching to people.
I hear Teresa and she's fantastic on that. But
she's good.
You can hear her sometimes. You can tell she's talking to somebody who doesn't look at animals situations like we do. And she never has been that she really tries not to be impolite or whatever, but some people just kind of push those buttons, get close. Never heard her go off on anybody, but I figure it's coming.
Yeah, she does an awesome job. We have less than a minute left in this segment. How do you want to end it? How can folks find you, and what's the phone number?
The best way to find us is Facebook Second Chance Shelter, but instead of the word second, it's 2ND Chance Shelter. We also got a website. We've got our phone number is 256-561-2411, 561-2411. Come by and visit. We're right off 168 at the Marshall-DeKalb County line. We'd love to hear from you, hear your advice. We are very receptive to advice, everything we can get from the public, because as we said at the beginning of all this is a community effort. We can solve this problem as a community. Doug and Wanda McGee can't do it. It's not possible. If everybody kind of keeps going like they're going, eventually we will not be killing healthy dogs in Alabama, and that's our mission to begin with.
Absolutely. So it's a fantastic mission. Thank you guys for every single thing you do. You and Wanda are awesome folks.
Thank you. Everything you've done this year. Let's make 2024 the best year ever.
It's going to be the best. Absolutely the best.
It is.
Doug, thank you again for being on the show. Tell Wanda I said hello. She's not going to get by with this. She's going to be on the show.
She really is.
We're going to get her up.
Yes.
She can take that. And again, thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge TV show. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Everybody take care. See y'all.